Welcome to another episode of Learn from People Who Lived It.
Well, hi there, it's Matthew Blades, and welcome to another episode of Learn from People Who Lived It. This is the show that's all about when life becomes the teacher. And today we're back with Cortney McDermott for one great teaching. And as I welcome you into the stage, Court, it's a very exciting energy today as everybody's very excited about the Chinese New Year. This is the year of the fire horse, and I've been doing some reading about it this morning. And one of the things I thought we could talk about on today's show is, it seems like every new year people get real excited, right? There's this thing about renewing and the what's ahead of me, and I can't wait for this and I can't wait for that. And I thought that would be a great thing for us to talk about because I'm sure you have some opinions surrounding it. So first up, welcome to the show and happy Chinese New Year to you.
Thank you. Happy New Year. Yeah, I'm glad we're talking about this today. I loved that you pivoted because I was thinking about something else and I had, you're saying I would have opinions about it, but I kind of forgotten. I mean, I didn't totally forget because people have been telling me, and I've also been saying to people, oh, we're going into the year of the fire horse. And today I just it was slipping my mind. So I'm glad that you decided to pivot so we can talk about it. Yeah.
I've had 3 appointments already today, and in every appointment, the Chinese New Year has come up, the fire horse has come up, and so what it means I don't want to get into the weeds of what it means, but this is the fire is the sign and the horse is the symbol, and so together there could be a lot more heat this year, but we could also be galloping into some new space and galloping into something a little bit, I don't want to say different, but maybe new for some of us. And one of the things that you are infamous for saying, and I hear your voice all the time in my head, thank you very much, is you might be already there. And so how do we lock on to this thing of like, I don't need to chase anything. I might already be there. So I'll tee you up and I'll let you unwind that.
Okay. Well, first, I hope the voice in your head is okay, because that sounds like a lot. There's enough to contend with in the mind, right? But I was really glad you prompted me on this because it brought me back to something I've been meaning to talk about on this show, which is the Tao Te Ching, right? Which is one of my all-time favorite resources for this idea that you're already there. And so today, I was just opening and seeing what passage really stuck out for us to talk about. And this one is one of my favorites ever. And it says, "Do you have the patience to wait till the mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself?"
Okay, let's take that bit by bit. So just give me the first line again.
Okay, well, first let me show. This is my favorite translation of the Tao Te Ching. It's by Stephen Mitchell, and we'll take it line by line. So, do you have the patience to wait till the mud settles and the water is clear?
So I almost want to break it up even more and say, do you have patience? Like first, right? Like we should seriously slow it down that much. Like, how are you patient as we enter this new year? That's a good question to ask, right?
Well, I think it's an especially good question to ask because if this is a time where things are speeding up, which I personally have felt, I have been saying that I have felt like I've been galloping on a stallion from the beginning of this year. And I feel that even more than usual because I have a bizarre relationship with time. I feel like most of the time I feel like I've lived 100 days in a day. And I know where the time goes, and it's very rich in experience. And at the same time, it's almost having that kind of relationship with time often feels like you're in the eye of the storm. So there's all of this movement around and the necessity of remaining as much as possible in stillness and observation and allowing it all to just keep swirling around you is a real practice, non-practice. It's a non-practice, I guess, that I have. So when you go back to saying, do you have patience, right? It is good that you're stopping there, because it's exactly the spirit that we want to talk about today, which is, are you racing forward? Are you trying to finish the sentence? Do you leave space for creation? It's good that you stop there.
And then the next line is to wait. And I think, like, again, slowing it down, like, do you have the patience to just wait, to sit in a place that might be uncomfortable, might be really comfortable? I don't know. I think it's probably going to be different for everybody, but do you have the ability to just sit there and wait? I can struggle with this a little bit. I can be a little type A, and I can want to, like, let's go. But, look, my Chinese zodiac is also the ox, which is, I'm very slow and I'm very steady. And so I know that I can tap into that. How do you tap into patience? How do you tap into waiting?
I have to do like I would with a little child and time myself out, because I also get very excited about doing. And I think I've never done the Enneagram test, but I've been told that I'm a 3. I'm an achiever or something. I'm an evolved achiever is what I've been told. I don't really know fully what that means, or even if it's true, but I have that, check things off the list. I love to take action. And what I've noticed is that my action is so much more powerful when I sit and wait for the intelligence that I often talk about to tell me what's the next action. And in order to get that information, I have to very deliberately time myself out, because I wouldn't be the person who just, or at least I haven't become the person. I don't know if my nature may very well be that. I think I became the achiever, but I don't think that's actually the core of how I came in to this human experience, but I became that. So I have to very deliberately, as I said, time myself out and say, okay, you're just going to sit. In fact, even before today, before us talking, because I had been moving through so many different things, and 10 minutes before we talked, I just went and got horizontal, as I often say. And I just let there was a swirl happening, and I just felt the swirl, and I just allowed myself to feel that, and not prescribe any meaning to it, or even try to figure it out. I just felt it. Yeah.
I want to ask you a question that's a little bit more personal in nature, because you and I have a similar thread to our stories, where we were both in really high performing jobs for a long time, and we would like go. And then we both kind of left that behind, as we love to say, we blew up what we built. Do you ever find yourself personally in a place where you're like, gosh, I can never go back to that? And so anything that feels busy or full or like too much, like it makes you really question, like, do I really want to do that again? I mean, do you ever feel that sense that what I'm talking about?
I often feel that I don't want to go back to that frequency. For me, that frequency isn't so much about the constant doing. It's about the lessening of freedom. I felt less free. I felt that I didn't have the kind of creative space that I have right now. I felt that I just felt that in terms of just time freedom, decision freedom of, how I was going to spend that time, what I was going to do, where I was going to go. And that took, a beat to establish in my own business too, was, getting to work with who I want, when I want, how I want, right? This freedom. And so I do think of it in that sense, is I guess what I'm maybe actively moving toward more and more, realizing and not realizing, is liberation. And so, that's where that comes up for me. Yeah.
Okay. So let's get back to the teaching. Do you have the patience to wait till you're Mud settles and the water is clear.
So
So
the
talk
mud.
to me about that second line.
Well, I often will say that there's a demucking process. We
Yes,
accumulate
you
all
do
of this.
say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I often talk about the muck and clearing the muck and how we get all of this stuff kind of just it's thrown on us, but then we throw it on ourselves. And there's something to say about almost washing ourselves, in whether that's through meditation, through relaxing, through dancing, through going for a walk, through shaking. There's so many different ways to demuck. And I think it's one of the most powerful things that we can do in order to get access to the wisdom that lives in us, right? So when it says, do you have the patience to wait till the mud settles and the water is clear? For me, there's a mix, right? So when I don't actually necessarily need to go into active meditation, right? Or dance or move, although that helps with the clearing of the muck, but just relaxing, just lying down, right, can be part of that patience that it's talking about, of you don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to strive, you don't have to do all these things. That's why I often say the most powerful thing you can do is the not doing. But sometimes we make the not doing a thing too, right? So we say, oh, it has to be a meditation, this kind of meditation, breath work, this thing, that thing, and we've kind of mucked it up again. So that's why I often say, just go lie down, just lay your body down, and that's already huge. Yeah.
The next thing in there is, can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? And this gets back to our conversation last week of this idea of hope and trusting that the right action will arise, in my opinion.
Mhm.
So let's chop that up a little bit. And then for those of you who are with us, we are going to get into a meditation here in just a few minutes, led by Cortney. But first up, let's dance on that thing. Do we have the trust to wait till that right action shows up by itself?
Yeah, well, I also think just, again, rest, relax, and it's the thing that we don't wanna do, and especially in societies that have a lot of drive mentality and a lot of penetrative energy, we don't want to just relax. And what I've seen over and over and over with myself and with others is that when we do relax, it's true that right action bubbles up. I get hits all the time when I'm just laying down, right? And I actually keep a notebook by the bed because I have to sometimes just write a whole bunch of stuff that's coming through. Or this is also how I do client summaries. I just dictate them lying down. I feel like I am the artificial intelligence. I'm the inner intelligence that flows through me when I just relax is nothing short of astounding. So, and I think we all have access to that. I truly believe. And so, yes, there's an element of trust, because in order to relax, we have to start feeling trust, but it's a cart and horse thing, right? Because once you relax, you get more trusting. So it's not like, oh, I have to trust before I can relax, because then you're sort of maybe waiting and still in that do action oriented mindset, versus I'm just going to relax, even though it maybe even can feel painful or just really hard to relax, but I'm going to do it anyway. And it's like what I did before our call today, because it's so much was spinning and moving today, and I've had to time myself out.
Fire horse is here. It wants to gallop and giddy up and go. And we're like, whoa, hold on a second. Calm down. But look, even the horse has to sit in the gate before he starts, right? Like even the horse has to slow down, and even the horse needs rest in order to be able to race. So it's a great reminder for all of us. Well, look, we're at that kind of time where Cortney leads us with a beautiful little guided meditation. Music is up in the background. Have you got something planned for us today?
I always just see what comes through. It's the
All
spirit of what
right,
we've been talking about. So yeah, let's see what
go.
happens. Okay.
Let's go. All right, you
All
lead.
right. Unless you are driving a car or operating any heavy machinery, if you feel like it, going ahead and closing your eyes with us here. Seeing if you can give yourself a moment to take up more space. Noticing if just in observing the breath, you can feel some of the washing away of the muck. Also noticing the places in your body that might be spinning. What are they communicating? And if you feel that spinning or you feel tension or contraction, noticing if you can bring the breath there. And an invitation to use the breath with awareness. And so instead of it being involuntary, just noticing if you can voluntarily draw the breath to wherever you're feeling the spinning, wherever you feel the tension, wherever you feel the fast movement. And just inviting the breath to bring calm, to bring a little more peace. Inviting the breath to harmonize these pockets of energy, these pockets of information. And noticing, even if right now, if you feel like just turning this off and sitting with yourself in silence and your breath, the invitation to do that, to tune out all of the noise so that you can tune in to the next right action for you. And if you're still with us, taking a moment again to just notice your breath and slowly making your way back, and fluttering your eyes open when and if you're ready to do so.
Thank you. I have an idea that I want to share with you that came to me while we were quiet. And sometimes right action for me means disappointing other people. And that's something that I struggle with. I think next week that could be a topic to consider, or, you know, at some point, you know, when your right action is the wrong thing for other people in your life. Because, well, anyways, that's just it.
I love that. Also, because next week we're releasing a video precisely about this that I recorded this past week. So totally, let's do it.
Love it. Love it. Tuesdays with Coco every single week right here on our YouTube channel and on the podcast channel. Thank you guys so much for being a part of it. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as we build this show. We're here for you and we love having the company. Happy Chinese New Year to all of those who will be celebrating today. And we will see you tomorrow with Dr. Dave and Mind Works. Have a great day, Court.
You too.